OMG, I don't know how Oda does it, but he absolutely delivers with these few chapters. Of course, he's going to take a 5-week break, which we will be talking about later on in this video. But before that, he actually delivered a chapter where each and every panel among this gave us new details and something really exciting. So let's talk about this amazing chapter and break down and come up with as many theories as we can by the end of this video. But before we begin, if you're new to this channel, you might like One Piece, and if you do, you need to subscribe to this channel and try to get me to 500 subscribers by the end of this month. I know it's asking a lot, but please. So yes, without further ado, let's continue with the intro. So we begin this chapter with a surprising set of panels featuring Chaka and Pell, and they are actually handing out Vivi's poster and trying to find where she is, cause she is definitely missing after the incident of the reverie. And I really wanted to know where Chaka and Pell fit into the story, if they knew where Vivi was, but turns out they don't. Of course, Wapol and Vivi are hiding together and they're just scared that the government agents are actually searching for them because they know that they're done for if they reveal themselves to them. And guess who gives them the help they need, and that is none other than Morgans. I mean, big news, Morgans is here and he is using the ship, or Aegis, I guess that's what he calls it, and he gives them the time to escape, and he also houses them with them because he needs the scoop. He needs everything. Vivi actually wants to know what happened in the throne room, and for a moment I thought that she actually does in the present and that Wapol actually told her everything that had happened in the reverie. But instead, Wapol doesn't really want to talk about it at all, even though this is like Vivi's father who died right in front of him and she deserves to know, but somehow he didn't tell her anything. So that means that he must have heard that Nefertiti D Vivi is a D holder too, and he still isn't actually trying to tell her. So the thing is, I guess she won't know anything until Sabo tells her. Also, another great panel showed us two beloved CP0 agents, one being the guy that we saw in Wano who still wears the mask and we don't know what he actually looks like. The other being our favorite Spandam. Spandam is here, guys. Everyone loves him. Everyone loves this character, right? Right? We also see two separate panels, one focusing on Bonnie, who is actually hungry and she's hiding on a ship from another kingdom. And then we also have Lulicia Kingdom's ship, where we see Sabo actually fully injured and he barely made it out alive and he's breathing really hard. And all Sabo can think of is his last word, or the promise that he made to Cobra, and that he must actually live on to tell the truth to Luffy and Vivi. Also, Emu knows that Sabo has escaped and he says that he needs to use the Mother Flame. Now this is a huge reveal. There is a weapon that actually knocked out Lulicia, and we thought it's the third actual ancient weapon that we haven't seen at all, but it turns out it's just another one of Vegapunk's creations called the Mother Flame. Probably Vegapunk's, I don't know really. So you're saying me Vegapunk created something or replicated the ancient weapons that is capable of destroying an entire island? That's so terrifying. So what is this Mother Flame? We aren't really sure about it, but I guess the final saga will just show how much of a terrifying power that Emu has on this world, and finally brings light to this entire world where we see Luffy actually helping everyone. And of course, Emu asks them that it has to be used on Lucia, and I'm really confused that the Five Elders actually think about the people sometimes, and they're like, there are so many people there, why would you want to kill them all? And he's like, I want a gun, and they're like, okay, because like he's the king and whatever he says must be done or must be obeyed. And guess what? In this chapter, we are finally revealed all 5 of their names. I mean the Gorosei, or the 5 elders, all the names have been revealed in this chapter. And let's go through it one by one, and also what they're actually good at or what they actually take care about. The first one is of course Saint J. Garcia Saturn, Saint Saturn for short. And he is the warrior god of scientific defense. So it kind of makes sense that he's the guy actually going to Agate Island because he's a scientific defense minister, or kinda. And he actually went to Vegapunk's island, which is a science base, and he might know more about science because he is there to kill Vegapunk. So that means he needs to get data on every scientific things that he has acquired so that it will help the actual world government. I think this is actually smart of Oda to put him as the one who is actually going to Agate Island. The second one, or the first one that hasn't been revealed yet, is Saint Marcus Mars, and he is the warrior god of environment. Now I don't know what his specialty is just based on this, but I guess he just looks up to the world from global warming. I have no idea. And of course, you know the name Marcus Mars, it has a Mars in it, which is also a planet just like Saturn, but things get confusing from here on. The third one is called Saint Topman Valkyrie, and he is the warrior god of justice. So I guess he's the lawyer. But what's really important here that his name doesn't really have a planet in it, but after doing a bit of wordplay, we actually realize that it is actually Mercury. You know, Topman Valkyrie, man and Valkyrie, you know, just remix it and you get Mercury. Also, another clever detail is that Mercury is the smallest of the planets, and he's also the shortest among the Gorosei. Now this is a really long name, and the fourth one is called Saint Ethan Baron V Nasujuru, and he is the warrior of finance. So if you're wondering what the planet name is, we know that initial V Nasujuru is basically V Nasu. Another clever detail, right? And also the last one is called Saint Shepherd Jupiter, or Jupiter, which basically means Jupiter, and he is the warrior god of agriculture. Now I don't know how this is different from the warrior god of environment, but I can see the changes that could be there between them both. Of course, we do get these many reveals in one huge chapter or just 5 panels, so it's amazing. And yes, Emu gives one final order, and a really strict order, and that is he wants Vivi here, and Vivi should be captured at all costs. Now I don't know how much he hates, or he or she hates, the D family, but if he really wanted someone from the D family that bad, I don't think there will be any Ds left, like Monkey D Luffy or D Garp or Jaguar D Sol. So there's so many people from the D family that Emu could have easily killed, but he didn't. So why is Vivi this important? I mean, if people are going to be important because they know about the truth of the Void Century, then the people he should hunt down is actually Sabo and Wapol, not Princess Vivi. So why is he fixated on Vivi? And also in this chapter we are having 3 different panels where we are shown the remaining 3 Seraphim. I don't really think they are the remaining, but they are 3 others from the original 7 warlords. And of course this does include S Flamingo, I guess, because the Flamingo Seraphim, which we all really wanted to see somehow. The other one is S Bat, I guess, which is a Gecko Moria clone. But here's the clever thing, that one thing that we waited for a really long time, and that is S Crocodile, which will finally resolve the question if it's a girl or a boy, and somehow we still don't know. It looks like a woman, it also looks like a guy, no one knows what the actual thing is. 50% of the people believe it's a girl, and I am among them. I think it is a girl Seraphim, which will be revealed in a later date, I guess. And it's really clever of Vegapunk to actually put the scar on Crocodile's, or S Crocodile's face. And somehow it also looks like these 3 Seraphim are actually going to Buggy's Island to capture Sir Crocodile. And it might be a really interesting, clash with, Mihawk, Buggy and Crocodile are all there, and they can easily beat the Seraphims. Probably. Or it's time for Mihawk to flex his swordsmanship against these people. Now we are back to the present where Sabo is talking with the Revolutionary Army, and Sabo says that he didn't kill Cobra. He didn't realize that that's what the news said until he reached Lucia Kingdom, but he didn't say that to those people because they started, praising him for being the flame hero, and he didn't really want to let them down, or he didn't actually want this fire of rebellion among them to fade out. So he just wanted them in his army, so he didn't reveal the truth yet. But of course he feels guilty about Cobra's death. And also they talk about the Saint Emu person from the White Century, and he was one of the 20 kings, and he was from the Nerona family, so that basically means he's called Emu Nerona. And guess what, if you do a word play, we get moon, like Emu Nerona, we get the moon there. And what is the opposite of moon? Mostly it's the sun. And who is the sun god? That is right, Luffy is the sun god. I think this is just setting up so many things, and I really love it. And also, is this Saint Emu person, or the one that was sitting on the empty throne, actually the real Emu, the one who was in the White Century, or is it someone else? But this might be someone from the White Century according to Ivankov, because who can actually, give out orders to 5 great elders of the Tenryubuto family? And they come up with theories just like us fans actually waiting for it. And one great theory is something that we fans always guess, and that is, Los Ope Ope no Mi. Someone might have used this fruit, the Room fruit, and actually did the immortal surgery on Emu, and he or she must have lived for these many years. The previous user of lost fruit could have done that. But of course, we don't know any of that, and since Oda just gave us that explanation, I don't think that is going to be the reason, because Oda always gives us different plot twists. This is when Sabo starts telling us about what happened in Lyrisha Kingdom, and he says that before it was blasted into nothingness, he did see something in the clouds. Something really pitch black was actually flying among the clouds. Now, if we don't know if this is a living thing or if it's a non-living thing, we don't know what this is actually is. This mother flame or flame mother is amazingly brilliantly written. So we don't really know what this is. We have to wait. That's really frustrating. I think this ultimate weapon created by Vegapunk might be used as a different plot device in the future arc of One Piece. The moment Sauer describes this ancient weapon or this mother flame weapon that was used on Lelouch Kingdom, all Ivankov could say about is that this could be the work of Vegapunk. No one else can actually do this. And even Dragon is like, I don't really think that Vegapunk would create something like that, because Vegapunk and Dragon are kind of friends. But what if it is Vegapunk and it wasn't actually him? I meant of course, the other clones of Vegapunk that he has created, like he has Shaka, he has Stella, he has so many other variations of him like roaming around the Egghead Island. But it's really confusing that one of them actually created this weapon in secret without the other five knowing, so it's really still a matter of fact that we don't understand it yet, of course, until Oda reveals this. On to the final panel of this chapter, and that is the grand reveal of Figureland family member, and that is Figureland Garling. This is a KFC reference, right? And the Figureland name, that's the really important thing, because Shanks is heavily implied that he is from the God's Valley and that he is from the Figureland family. And guess what actually was revealed in this episode is that the Figureland Garling is the person who was the former king of God's Valley. So the battle that happened at God's Valley actually took his throne away, I guess. But this guy is now capable of judging even the celestial dragons. The highest power have a highest power too. That's amazing. I can really see Garling's character in here, the way he acts. It is nothing like Shanks, but there are people still believing that Garling is actually the father of Shanks, and Shanks also has a twin brother who was the one who actually went into the Gorosei's room. And that Shanks' twin brother is also one of the Holy Knights. Also, another theory is that the Holy Knights is comprised of 9 individuals who are actually from the same family. And the dialogues that actually Garling tells is like, the scum who protect scum are also considered scum. That kind of makes sense if you think about it. And the final ever panel from this chapter is that Mosgard has been executed. I mean, he's not really executed. He was bleeding. We don't really know if he's dead or not. We don't even know where Sai and Leo are. They might be imprisoned by the CP0 agents. We don't know anything, but they are of the Grand Fleet. Maybe they will try to break Mosgard free because he is an unofficial member of the Grand Fleet. And I guess every other member from the Grand Fleet will be here, including Bartholomew, and they will actually help Mosgard. And that is the big event that Oda foreshadowed when he was writing Dressrosa. I'm really excited for this. Things are going to the end game. This chapter was amazing. Of course, Oda is taking a 5-week break because of his eye surgery, and I wish him luck. Mostly when people or writers stop writing something and they go away, fans get angry and they want more chapters. But in Oda's case, this is like the longest break I've ever known that he has taken, and everyone are actually happy that Oda is taking this because of his lack of sleep and his eyesight, everything. We fans love Oda so much that we will incredibly wait for 5 whole weeks just to see what happens. So yes, that was it for this chapter, guys. What do you think is actually happening in this episode or this chapter, and what do you think this would lead to? Will it be a huge war, and will it be mind-blowing, and will Oda finally deliver something of a grand ending that all other manga couldn't actually, do? Do you think this will have a perfect ending? I of course believe in Oda. Oda is like a god to us. So yes, I'll see you guys in my next video. Till then, sayonara guys. China out.